Hi there, this is Stephen. This is month 3 of our Tale of X Gamers with the Canterbury Crusaders. We are doing 1,500 points. I'm using my Eldar again, and if any of you watched the month 1 video, if you remember Dave's Guard, they got even more horrific. So I'm desperately going to try and see if I can make some way against them. Although, well, you'll see his list in a minute, it is pretty brutal. So we'll be back in a minute, I guess, with army rundown. Right, this is my 1,500 point list. We've got Eldrad, as always. We've got 10 Dark Avengers. We've got an Exarch with Bladestorm, Defend, a Power Sword and Shimmershield. And they are mounted in a Wave Serpent with Twin Link Shuriken Catapults and a Shuriken Catapult. We also have 5 Rangers. Moving on, we've got 5 Fire Dragons with Exarch, Fire Pike and Crackshot. 6 Harlequins with a Shadow Seer and Kisses. A Wraith Lord and a War Walker. The Wraith Lord has got 2 flames and a missile launcher, and the War Walker's got the 2 scatter lasers. We've got a Barebones Haemonculus, 9 Wyches, Agonizer, a Phantasm grenade launcher, all the usual stuff. They managed to roll a 6 on their drugs roll, so they've got extra pain token, so Furious Charge from the off. They're in a Raider with a Dark Lance, Flicker Field, Night Shields, and Enhanced Ether Sails. And then there's the Razorwing Jet Fighter with Dark Lances, 4 stock missiles and a Splinter Cannon, Night Shields and Flicker Field as well. And as far as Warlord traits for Eldrad over there, we managed to roll the everyone in the army has Stealth Ruins and Move Through Cover Ruins.
So here's my 1,500 point guard list. I've got the command squad. I have a squad of 10 vets with 2 melters. I have another squad of 10 vets with 2 melters in a Chimera. I have the primary Psyker. I have a third squad of 10 vets with 1 flamer. I have the Layman Rust Punisher. I have a squad of 8 Rattlings. A squad of 2 Colossus. My 3 Sentinel Scout Walkers, all armed with autocannons. And then 3 Vendetta jet planes.
Right, this is the battlefield. We managed to roll Big Guns Never Tire and Pitch Battle, and we got 5 objectives. This side of the board is going to be the Eldar deployment zone. That side is the Imperial Guard. Currently Eldar have got first turn, and Dave managed to roll the trait that means he can decide if it's night fighting or not, and he decided quite wisely to make it night fighting. So we've got 1 objective here, 1 over here on my left, 1 just off the centre, 1 in Dave's deployment zone in that piece of terrain, and 1 hiding behind those trees. So we'll come back after deployment, scout moves, infiltrate, all that jazz. Right, this is after deployment and an Eldrad getting 2 units on his divination. We've got Eldrad and the Dark Avengers and the Haemonculus and the Wyches all the way over them this flank, who are pretty much directly opposite that squad of guardsmen, the command squad, and the Primaris Psyker. Incidentally, the Primaris Psyker rolled Prescience and Forewarning as his 2 powers. I've strung out the Harlequins across there, praying that Nightfight keeps them alive. Got 5 Rangers who have activated a grav field generator there. Oh yes, sorry, and those veterans managed to get the targeting relay, which is the reroll 1s to hit. And obviously going across the back there, we've got the Sentinels, Chimera with vets, and the thing that's just going to hose every infantry model I own into the dust. And we've got the 2 Colossi there and the infiltrating Rattlings. Pull back across to my left flank. I've got 5 little lonely Fire Dragons there, and the Wraith Lord, who I was also going to move over to that flank, but didn't roll high enough on Eldrad's roll, so he might be standing still for a few turns. Obviously we've got 3 Vendettas in reserve, with 1 veteran squad in one of them, and I've outflanked with a War Walker, and obviously my Flyers in reserve. Right, end of Eldar turn 1. Both the transports went shooting off up that flank with the turbo boost in the shooting phase. Hopefully to kill those guardsmen, although we'll see if the vehicles last. They've both got Fortune on them though from Eldrad. The Harlequins moved forwards and tried to run into that piece of scenery, got a little bit there but not quite. The Rangers fired, and did pretty much nothing to that squad of veterans. A crack missile from the Wraith Lord into the front Colossi, however, due to night fight, he was fine. The Fire Dragon Exarch was just in range to pop one of the Ratlings and managed to roll a 1 and missed. So we'll come back at the end of guard turn 1.
So turn 1 of guard, the Colossus fired their templates over at what used to be the Fire Dragons, wiping out all 5 of them just. The Ratlings popped their snipers, only managed to get 2 wounds, but they were both rending and they were both on the Wraith Lord. The Sentinels fired at the Raider and failed to do anything at all. The Punisher, with its 29 shots, fired everything again at the Raider and only stripped off 1 hull point. These guys sat and looked pretty. He moved up with the Chimera to fire at the Wraith Lord and failed to do anything at all. And the guys inside shot at the Harlequins and again failed to do anything at all. End of guard turn 1.
Right, end of Eldar turn 2. Things are going pretty well now. The Dire Avengers hopped out, and thanks to Doom on that veteran squad there, they're now dead. They've been fortuned, so they've got a rerollable cover save just in case those things fire at them. The Wave Serpent moved over there and exploded the Chimera. The Wyches hopped out and then assaulted the command squad that's there, butchering them, which means they're now fearless. The Dark Lance on the Raider managed to do nothing to the front of the Lehman Russ. It hit it, didn't penetrate. The Harlequins actually failed a fleet charge at the remains of that squad. Unfortunately, they rolled 7 and then re-rolled their 1 to a 1. The Wraith Lord fired a shot at the front of that Colossi and did nothing. The Warwalker fired all 8 shots at the front of that Colossi and did nothing. The Razorwing Jet Fighter managed to unload pretty much, 2 missiles, Dark Lance and its Splinter Cannon at the Ratlings, and they're now running away like pansies down that way. And my Rangers sat on that objective because that's what they're doing at the moment. Okay, so we're on to guard turn 2.
So guard turn 2, both of the, all 3 of the Vendettas turned up from reserve. The first Vendetta shot all its las cannons, twin-linked las cannons, at the Razorwing and failed to get a single hit. The Ratlings here regrouped and shot at the Wraith Lord, but failed to wound. The 2 Colossus shot at where the Wyches were a nice big blob squad before and are now reduced to 2 after pretty much getting 2 direct hits. The Lehman Russ Punisher shot all 20 shots at the Dire Avengers, and Eldrad took all the wounds and only failed 1. The 2 Vendettas here fired their 6 las cannons at the Wave Serpent, which is now a wreck. The 3 Scout Sentinels down here shot at the Warwalker, which is also now a wreck. And that is the end of guard turn 2. And also this squad of guardsmen fired their melter at the Wraith Lord, who is no longer there.
Eldar turn 3, basically lots of shuffling around over here into that cover. The Raider moved up and fired a shot straight through all the Sentinels, took a hull point and the heavy bolter off that one remaining Colossi. The other one exploded when the Razorwing flew up onto that building and dropped 2 missiles and 2 Dark Lances on the squadron. Sadly, didn't do anything else. The Harlequins assaulted, killed that unit there, and ended up consolidating into the jungle there. That's about it at the moment, and it will be on to guard turn 3.
So in the guard turn 3, the Vendetta here went into hover mode and shot down the Razorwing jet fighter with the 1 hit it actually made. The Harlequins here got shot at by the Sentinels and killed 1, and then assaulted by the Sentinels and killed a second one. They used hit and run to come out and go towards the Colossus. The Punisher shot 29 shots again at the Raider, and again did nothing despite causing several glancing and penetrating hits, which were all saved. The Colossus shot into the Dire Avengers and managed to kill 2. The rattlings over here fired at the Rangers over there and caused them to run away. The Vendettas shot all their las cannons at them and failed to cause a single wound. End of guard, turn 3.
Right, turn 4 for the Eldar, bit of good, bit of bad. Eldrad kicked out 2 lots of fortune, and then the Eldritch Storm, the 3 sentinels that were there, combined with the dire Avengers. Now they can shoot after Bladestorming a couple of turns ago. They managed to glance out 1 vehicle, and then they immobilised and took a whole point off that one. And so luckily it's facing the wrong way. Good old Eldritch Storm. That was about it really. The Harlequins charged and did pretty much nothing to that Colossus through grenades, shuriken catapults, rending, absolutely nothing. And we managed to take a whole point off that Lehman Russ with the Raider. That's it really. The Rangers luckily rallied and are currently running back into cover over there. And I think that's the end of Eldar turn 4.
So end of guard turn 4. The Colossus here tried to make a run for this objective, and it managed to immobilise itself, so it is sitting put. The Vendetta here shot its las cannons at the Harlequins that were there, along with the Rattlings shooting, and finally managed to finish the 3 of them off. The Lehman Russ here shot 29 shots at 2 witches that were there, and they managed to make every single one of their cover saves, along with their fortune and feel no pain. The 2 squad here now had to split up since they've been, one of them's been immobilised. The first one shot at the Harlequins as well and did nothing at all. The second one also shot at the 2 witches with its autocannon, and again they made their saves. So it fell down to the 2 Vendettas over here to fire their 6 las cannons also at the 2 witches. When they finally did fail, only 2 saves, and then died. The squad of guardsmen, who have now disembarked from the Vendetta and are over on this objective, managed to fire rapid fire at the Rangers that were in there, only killing 1, but he did fail his leadership check and ran off the board. And that is end of guard turn 4.
Right, Eldar turn 5. Eldrad split off from the unit of dire Avengers after he cast Guide and Fortune. He then came over here to Eldritch Storm, those 2 sentinels. Unfortunately, a demon obviously got in his head, and well, his brain exploded and he failed his save, and it was his last wound. So Eldrad lying somewhere on the floor about there. That's pretty much it, except this Raider moved over and pop-shotted the last hull point off the Colossus that was there, basically just to get me an extra victory point, although I don't think it's going to make much difference at this point. But that is the end of Eldar turn 5.
So guard turn 5, the 3 Vendettas moved to shoot at the Raider. The first Vendetta managed to wreck it on its own. The Sentinel here shot its autocannon at the dire Avengers and did nothing. The Lehman Russ shot its 29 shots at the dire Avengers, killing 5 of them. And that was end of turn 5 for guard.
Right, we decided to call it the end of guard turn 5, mostly because I've only got 3 dire Avengers left, which, let's be fair, have got killed in turn 6. By the look of it, we've got guard troops holding that objective there, and we've got that heavy support choice, because this is Big Guns Never Tire, holding that objective there. Well, I killed 1 heavy support choice, which was the Colossus. Dave killed 3 of my heavy support choices, which was the Lone Warwalker, the Wraith Lord, and that lovely crashed Razorwing there. We both got Warlord due to Eldrad exploding his own head. We both sort of got Line Breaker, although I probably would have lost it because they would have been dead. So Dave got that one. Dave also got First Blood. So all in all, a pretty convincing win for the Guard. What can I say? Look at that. Right, so Eldar lost horribly. 10-2 was the final score. To be honest, I knew this was going to be an uphill battle. I think I needed to kill the Colossi much sooner than I actually managed it, since they seem to be the thorn in my side. I knew I'd basically have to be just charged straight in there as soon as I knew I was going to play Dave. It was going to have to be a turn 1 turbo boost in their deployment zone, get in their face, cause them trouble. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work. just due to my sheer inability to deal with those colossi. Good game nonetheless, and hopefully we'll be back next month and I'll be able to hopefully win a game. It'd be nice without another partner to do all the heavy lifting for me.
So at the end of the game, initially the early charge across the board did kind of take me off guard. I tried to take out the raider early because I knew that the Wyches would be a problem to my guards when they got out. Fired 29 shots at it and only took off one whole point. Kind of at that point was starting to be a bit worried. There was a lot of stuff on my side of the board. Fortunately for me, the Colossus being right on the other side of the board left them kind of to do their thing. Got incredibly lucky with direct hit rolls. I rolled to scatter, rolled double ones, so managed to take out all of the guys that were causing me problems on that side of the board. And then from there, my vendettas turned up nice and early, which was a bonus, and managed to push him off of his objective on his side of the board, giving me all the kind of scope I needed.